The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for. Have you ever noticed that some of the happiest looking people are often the ones who feel the emptiest? We spend our lives chasing things we think would finally make us happy. A better job, more money, better grades, maybe even a relationship. We convince ourselves that if we can just reach that next milestone, everything else will fall into place. And yet, over and over again, we hear stories of people who have everything they have once dreamed of, only to ask themselves one question: is this really it? One of the biggest misconceptions we have is that happiness and meaning are the same thing. They're not. Happiness comes and goes. It's a feeling, and it's fleeting. It's always fleeting. You get it from achieving something you've worked towards, spending time with people you love, or even just eating your favorite meal. Meaning is different. Meaning is the reason you get out of the bed, and when happiness isn't there. Because eventually happiness fades. It's inevitable. We adapt to almost everything. The dream car becomes your normal car. The promotion becomes your normal job. And what once felt extraordinary slowly becomes ordinary. It becomes normal. If happiness alone were enough, we'd all stop searching after getting what we wanted. But we never do. This question has fascinated many philosophers for centuries. Albert Camus believed that the universe doesn't owe us meaning. We desperately search for purpose in a world that remains completely silent. This is what he famously called the absurd. His response wasn't to give up, it was to rebel, to keep trying despite never receiving an answer, not because life will hand meaning to you, but because we chose to live anyways. On the other hand, Friedrich Nietzsche famously wrote, "He who has why to live can bear almost any how." People can endure unbelievable hardship if people believe there's something waiting on the other side. This is exactly why religion is so big. It gives people purpose and meaning. Without that why, even small inconveniences become unbearable. This is probably why literature has fascinated me so much. The best novels aren't really about the plots, they're about people trying to answer impossible questions. For example, in The Fall, John Baptist spends the entire novel confronting the person he thought he was. In Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov convinces himself that intelligence can place someone above morality, only to discover that guilt is far stronger than logic. And it's even in fantasy novels like Mistborn and Red Rising, both of them I've read really very recently. They aren't about magic and sci-fi, they're about hope, about giving people something worth believing in when the world has taken everything else away. Different stories, the same question: what makes life worth living? Maybe that's why so many people feel lost today. For the first time in history, many of us have access to endless entertainment, instant communication, and more comfort than previous generations could have imagined. But comfort was never the destination. If anything, comfort often removes the very struggle that forces us to ask what really matters. A life without problems sounds appealing until you realize that overcoming problem is often where meaning is found. A utopia of no problems sounds amazing in theory, but that's as far as it goes. In practical life, I believe it will be awful. I am the person I am because of the hardships in my life. They have shaped me like a blade that gets shaped by constant hammering. It makes me resilient and gives you purpose. So, what is our purpose? Some would say is to suffer. Some would say we don't have one, and some would say finding our purpose is our purpose. I don't think any philosopher has the right answer, and I certainly do not. But I do think they've all pointed towards the same truth. Everyone has to find their own purpose and meaning. Only then can one live a meaningful life.